Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel, Old Bike New Man. I go by G, and I appreciate you all taking this journey with me. I've been looking forward to getting this YouTube channel off the ground for some time now, but I kept thinking, do we need any more motovlog videos? And the answer to that question is no, but I still decided to do it anyway. So I appreciate you all checking out this first video, and hopefully those of you that are here will stick around as I continue to grow and learning how to edit videos and how to tell a good story that is interesting. So I look forward to providing good content for you all. I got into motorcycling around 2012. My first motorcycle of any kind was a Can Am Spyder RSS, which I really enjoyed riding that. I convinced my wife around that time that I want to try something exciting, but not something that was too dangerous. So I explained to her all the safety features of the Spyder, and she bought into it. And before you knew it, I had a new one sitting in the garage, and it was a good experience. I put about 30,000 miles on my RSS, but at some point around 2014 or so, I started getting the itch to actually try two wheels. I always knew I wasn't a guy that was too shiny or wanted to be out in the spotlight, so the Road King kind of fits my personality, kind of laid back. You're not going to have a lot of music, anything playing while you're riding downtown, but everyone will see you and know that you're a rider when they see you, of course. So I ended up getting the Road King around 2015, and I traded in my Spyder around that time, not for the Road King, but actually for a car, which is a whole nother story. So I ended up just having that, and it took me well over a year to get comfortable riding two wheels after being on the Spyder, which obviously felt a lot safer because I didn't have to worry about falling over in corners and things of that nature. But as time went on, I got better, and my Road King is one of my greatest joys right now. On this trip, we're heading out west to Fort Davis, Texas. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so Fort Davis is about 500 or so miles away from me. Anyone that has ever ridden out west from the Dallas area can confirm that there are hundreds and hundreds of miles of just open land. I rode about 400 miles before I even had to turn my GPS on for this trip. So let's see how the journey goes. As I mentioned earlier, I purchased my Road King around 2015. I've been fortunate enough to be able to take some great rides since that time, including 2 iron butt rides. So I'm very proud of those. They are the 1,000 miles in 24 hours, so there are many other rides that are far greater than that, but I'm proud of the ones that I completed. I don't get a chance to take trips like that very often, though. Normally a few hundred miles or even just riding around town would be the norm for me. So every time I take a trip that's more than a couple hundred miles out, I have to mentally get myself ready as well as physically, of course. Normally after about 100 miles or so on a trip of this magnitude, I started realizing that, I haven't been on the road this long in a long time. And my body's kind of starting to ache a little bit, and my mind is starting to go through the process of, hey, are you sure you want to do this? But you keep going, and before you know it, you hit your second wind, and that's normally for me about 200 or so miles in, and I realize, I really can do this, and this is actually fun. The mental part kind of switches for me from, why am I doing this, to, I'm glad that I did this. As I began to see the mountains in the distance, I thought that when I got here, my mind would say, wow, this is so amazing. But actually, I started to feel kind of overwhelmed. I guess because I'm from the big city, I'm just used to seeing buildings all the time. Mountains and large trees and things like that are not normal for me. So I had to process that in my own way. And eventually, I began to realize how beautiful all this was. And I'm glad I made the adventure. The entire trip heading to Fort Davis was pretty uneventful. It was a good ride. Weather was awesome during that time. It wasn't too hot. Wasn't too cool right there in the middle. Just a great ride for me. Everything went well for the first 450 miles or so, and then I had my first snafu. Take a look at these two signs here. Look at them very carefully. Now you see me blowing right past both of those signs. During that time, my wife had called me and we were on the phone. And for some reason, my GPS wouldn't show on the phone. It would only show the incoming call. But I was thinking, hey, it's okay. The GPS would still alert me with a sound or some type of alert saying, hey, turn here. So I looked at both signs. I even turned my head because I'm thinking, hey, I think that's where I should turn. But the GPS didn't say anything. So me being confident in it, I kept going. And I was going the wrong way. Eventually, I wised up and told my wife, hey, babe, I'll call you back. Let me focus on this GPS because I think I've missed my turn. But the weirdest thing in the world was, look at where Google Maps told me to keep going straight and turn left at. You won't believe this. And I know what you're saying. Hey, G, there's a gate there letting you know not to turn there. Hey, let me tell you, if St. Peter was there waving me on in, I still make a U-turn and act like I didn't see him. That's not a road for a family man to take. That's the kind of road you take when you're leaving and you know you ain't never coming back. So shame on Google for suggesting that road, and God bless anyone who's ever went down that road because you never came back, I'm sure of it. And I know you're thinking, okay, G, you missed your turn, but it's not your fault. It's your wife's fault. It has to be. Just joking, but we did finally get back on track and got onto our main road here, heading into Fort Davis. So let's check out what we all want to see, some of the beautiful scenery. So wow, this was a great trip for me. I'm so glad that I went forward with making this trip happen. You know, sometimes with work and family life, you end up putting a lot of things on the back burner that are not necessary or not immediate needs. But this was something that was good for me mentally. So now you can see I'm kind of heading out of the mountain range. You can still see some in the distance, but they're kind of, as I'm getting closer, they're going to be to the left or to the right of me, not necessarily on the path that I'm going. Now I'm headed to Monahan's, Texas. I booked a hotel there. It's about 100 miles from Fort Davis and about 400 miles from the Dallas-Fort Worth area where I live. I want to make sure that my trip going home was shorter than my trip coming to the Davis Mountain area, because you know that second day your body is kind of already telling you, hey, you've been riding for a while, so the saddle sore is setting in. So I want to make it a shorter ride, although this is not short. It's shorter than the 500 or so coming up here. I hope to have my next video up in the next 2 weeks. I don't have a set time of when I'll be releasing videos as of yet, but ultimately the goal will be to hopefully release a video once per week if I can maintain that schedule, but I'll get them out as much as I can. Some videos will be riding videos and some will be in the man shed area, but we'll adjust as we go. Once again, I appreciate everyone for checking out the video, and I hope that you all come back and check out the next one. Peace.